first of all, I want to emphasize exactly what you just said, and that is there's the overall broad market, there's the overall economy, right? That's what we spent the first half of this program kind of thinking about. But then there's us, right? And one of the reasons why I got into options trading myself is because I learned that with different option strategies and the way that you populate these option strategies with different options, you can basically take any situation and turn it into a portfolio profiting situation. You just have to make sure you understand what patterns you're seeing and then apply the right option strategy to it. So, as far as our personal portfolios are going, thanks to some of these hidden indicators we use that give us a clearer picture of what's really happening, we can now take strategic decisions and keep that profiting. Pfizer is one of these companies that I would call a defensive type stock. So I think that we're going to see challenges over the next couple of months in technology, and then possibly following technology, I look at things like uh, financials, which I think might be under some pressure as well, and probably some healthcare, which Pfizer, you can kind of say that Pfizer is part of all these, but Pfizer is a maker of both generic as well as name brand drugs. Um, if anything, people are taking more drugs than they've ever taken. Pfizer is one of these companies that you can see in their earnings announcements, $1.23, 67 cents per share on just a $35 stock. These are fantastic earnings results, and they're doing a dividend, which means they're taking a lot of their profits and giving it back to their investors. 41 cents per quarter. That's a hefty dividend. I like this type of stock for me to be able to sell premium against. Now, if I go back a little bit and I look over, say, for instance, the last 2 years, yeah, Pfizer has been hit with a little bit of sell off, but it looks like they're bottomed again. And so I think we can actually turn this into some trades. It looks like we've hit a bottom somewhere around 35, 35.50, and I'm looking to challenge that bottom somewhere around 37, 37.50. Now, this is a tight channel, so you're going to have to be a little bit more on the ball. If it goes higher than that, that's fine. I don't want to do any trading today, SIP. I want to look for that a top gets found. So I'm going to let this current little move that's been going on for the last couple of days, I'm going to let that play out. But once I hit whatever top I hit, and I don't care where it comes, whether it's 37.50 or 38, 39, 40, wherever it hits that top, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to be calling out for folks to either short some Pfizer. That means uh, selling first and then buying back at a later date, selling at a high price, buying back at a lower price. When you short a stock like that, you make money when the stock goes down. Either shorting Pfizer, or I can see buying a deep in the money, far out in time put option, which will have the same effect as shorting Pfizer. So that would profit as Pfizer drops back down. And then once Pfizer finds its bottom, what I think I'd do is I would then sell some put premium and buy some protective calls and start that income generating process. That's one thing. If I had Pfizer stock right now, if I owned Pfizer stock right now, I don't think that I would. Um, I think that I would wait and possibly sell some call premium. So I think I can turn this into a premium trade. In fact, I'm very confident about it, and it's beautiful because Pfizer has a really active options chain. You can see here the gold standard is looking at the bid ask spread. This gives us a direct kind of understanding of what the market makers think is going on. If there's activity, there's only like a 5 to 6 cent at the money bid ask spread on both the put. On the call, it's even less, it's a penny. So people are definitely in there trading the options on Pfizer. I really think that if we get our signals to determine what's a top or a bottom, Pfizer should be on our hot list. We should have a trade plan in place. We should have signals that we're watching every evening and every trading day, and going forward with a trade on Pfizer.
So follow up question. When you expand the Pfizer stock over like 2 or 3 years,
Hmm.
you we're seeing that it's at a pretty cheap price now, and so with this
Hmm.
longer type of holding the stock, selling the premium month over month, is that something that you're not necessarily positioning yourself for, but knowing that it's a discretionary name that has some consistency in an economic downturn, a name like Pfizer can start to gain some traction back to the positive side?
It could. I'm not actually banking on that. I feel like Pfizer is one of those bigger companies that we've talked about correlation in the past, where it doesn't matter how well the company is doing, that it's the sector or even the overall broad market that's going to affect its price. And I feel like Pfizer is going to have a lot of pressure from its sector and from the broad market. So whether I'm long or short for that initial position, I don't think it's going to matter in the next 5 to 6 months. Um, I actually think it's better moneymaker for us if we set up one or the other initial covering positions at one of the extremes. And so, since we're working up this little mini channel these past few days, I think it's best for us to target getting in at as high as we can right now, and so in that case, we would short Pfizer. And then that would give us the ability to sell option premium and create that monthly or even weekly, if you decide to sell weekly options, income stream off of that Pfizer initial position. I'm not so worried about Pfizer actually, or I'm not forecasting whether Pfizer should be a good long term hold or a good long term sell. I'm just mainly setting up a position to create those income trades.